Oh, welcome to the Magical Boot 65th edition. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta with me. How are you, Shudipta?
So far, good. How are you?
I'm good too. Last time we spoke about the first semifinal of the World
Yeah,
Cup 2022, and then there is a second semifinal happened. And do we want to talk about it?
yeah, of course. Why not? Um, Actually, second semifinal was sort of ended after 5 minutes of the game in the game.
Yeah, yeah, or even
Um,
before, probably. Just given that Saiz was playing with injury,
yeah,
and they went to back three for that.
yeah,
And as soon as that Theo Hernandez goal went in, yeah, that game was pretty much kind of hopeless. But it was still interesting to see. But eventually, what France likes to do is go get a goal and just sit down on
yeah.
their ship.
Basically what that's what they did. But defensively, they were sort of in problem because Rabiot was not there, Upamecano was not there, but Konate played
I thought
instead of Upamecano.
Konate and Upamecano, there's not much difference though in terms of.
A little bit difference, like Upamecano is like a little bit better with the ball. So like, and Hugo Lloris is not like good in ball. So like he actually covers up, but also like Rafael Varane is not that actually good. So whenever Morocco was pushing up, so there was this problems from the like playing from the back. So that's why actually Griezmann like dig a little bit deeper, and sometimes he was on this like left half space or right half space and try to like make a way out of this pressure Morocco put after that goal actually. So and it was sort of Morocco played sort of like a 5-4-1 sort of situation. They started like that. They changed in between like
They had to change
so
because of the injury of the
yeah.
size. So
So
whenever
they
they,
after conceded the goal,
yeah,
conceding the goal, they have to change in again. The contingency plan sort of worked in the middle of the game, but that was actually a problem for France a little bit because, uh, like I said, Konate and Varane, they are not actually normally Upamecano actually make this way out of the ball with like playing with either Chumeni or Rabiot or someone else, so that like Griezmann doesn't have to like go that much deeper. We'll talk about like what Griezmann does normally in the when we are going when we will actually go to the tactical board. But before that, like I just want to mention something like there were actually like, some problems because France conceded 5 goals so far. They had only probably like one clean sheet or two clean sheet, uh, something like that actually. Most of the
yeah, against
matches
against Denmark, I can remember. Um,
uh, and no Denmark.
yeah,
Denmark.
it was
No.
1-0 or something.
Oh, let me check again. Like cross check. It was 2-1.
Oh, it was 2-1.
It was 2-1 against Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah, for Australia 4-1, Morocco 2-0. I guess like this is the only game they did not consider. And Tunisia they could not actually score a goal. Yeah, so that what basically happened, and Griezmann played sort of like a puppet master. He was playing like this actually, sort of. Whenever we talked about him, even before the draw, or when we started talking about like when the group stages were fixed and everything, we were talking about the dangers of France getting out of the tournament if they continue to play the older players in some positions. But it actually changed because if you remember in Euros, Benzema, Mbappe, was playing, and Griezmann was playing under them actually, and sometimes like playing it from the right or something like that. So he was switching position with sometimes with Benzema. So like he popped up in he was popping up in the multiple position, but problem was that they were actually sort of like occupying their uh, own spaces. So like in a good sense, when Benzema left this team due to injury, and some other players like
Yeah,
Pogba, um, what can I say?
content.
Who else? Kante, yeah. Uh, I guess like
No,
this made
you
it
made
very,
a good you touched a good point. I mean, because Deschamps didn't have to make those choices. Injury made
he
him.
is he was not going to
So
make
no, injury
make
made
the
him to
choice.
choose. So
Yeah, sort of like that. And now everything is like well run machine so far,
I
except
wouldn't say
for
well-run machine, but they're better for sure. They're better.
yeah, yeah.
Machine-wise, I don't know. There are definitely a little bit of problems here and there, and that's due to
It,
some injuries.
yeah, and also like it's sort of like 90s Germany situations, like like late 80s, early 90s Germany situation, because like Germany was not actually that time great side, but there was like players like in certain positions
Well, at
who
least
was actually
there
like
was,
picking
yeah,
up.
yeah, there was
Uh,
German. Yeah, there is a bit of reflection of that, but at least Germany were better in ball. I mean, this France team
uh,
has
not really. The France team actually have can
no, no. I'm
actually make
saying, yeah, yeah.
make better.
Totally. This team can play way better, definitely.
Yeah,
But obviously,
yeah,
they're conservative. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's funny because Leo Scaloni is the coach of Argentina. He admires France a lot after the 2018. He basically even stated as a caretaker when he was appointed as a caretaker coach that he likes
yeah,
them so much that he would like to appoint he would like to bring some of the ideas of France of 2018 without balls and how turnover can happen and you can progress vertically. So
yeah.
this is almost like the thing you admire.
Actually, actually, Gareth Southgate sort of said the similar things a few years back. He was making an example, like some people were saying, like, yeah, we have players now. That's the point we were actually making earlier before the World Cup or previews and stuff like that. That they can actually go another gear probably. English team, French team, Portuguese team. Um,
But
but
they would never
Southgate
do
made
that.
this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Southgate made some points about that, and well, it's sort of understandable, like what they're doing. At least they are so sort of successful in a way. Like, in,
Yeah, unless the Euro loss against Switzerland may give a different picture, but that's because of the personnel. And
yeah,
you did touch upon that Griezmann was playing a little bit of out of position. Now Griezmann, whatever he's playing, that's the place he's comfortable because of his Atletico time, his Real Sociedad times, or even he likes to defend. He likes to he likes to go and put a challenge. So he's almost like a number eight at times.
even when he was not in the form last season,
Yeah,
and Atletico was struggling, and wow, Felix was in form, and whenever Atletico was like one up or two up or something like that, uh, actually Simeone brought Griezmann to defend, actually, just for defensive purpose, and also like he can make things like really. He sometimes play like a deep lying playmaker and make those like passes, long passes, which actually creates sort of like a goal threat. And with Mbappe in up in the position, it's like really dangerous. If you remember that tackle Christiansen was doing on Mbappe on the group stage game, which actually booked him in yellow. And if he actually failed to do that, Griezmann was through actually,
yeah.
basically.
No, you're correct. But Morocco, after switching to back four,
Yeah,
I was a little surprised how easily they could progress to the middle. Especially, they have good players like Amrabat was charged up. Unahi was, I thought, is a brilliant player. But still, it was like too easy. Like almost like if they have the firepower on the ball, they could have
yeah.
they could have probably taken some of the opportunities.
Bofal actually, I mentioned that Bofal actually creates sort of like a overload in the midfield. Sometimes he just leave the like the wing or the half space area, and creates sort of like a overload, so then the other players can actually go around him or something like that actually, which actually creates whoever tracking him, it actually loses the shape of the defensive line, and they attack in really good speed.
So
And
were you disappointed with the Moroccan effort? Because one, they're
no, actually, because they did whatever they could actually.
don't you,
Uh,
well
yeah,
after the
and it's
game the coach
it
came
looked
out.
like, yeah, it looked like this because Morocco never played in this stage and in this sort of like deep in the tournament,
And also they made
and
some interesting choices to go and start the 11.
yeah, also experience actually matters. Actually, for example, this World Cup actually can create a generation like after 12 years, whoever who can actually probably make it to the final or play beautiful football and make it to quarter semis or stuff like that actually. And playing in what World Cup semi is sort of like a success in a way, if you
No, no,
think
no.
about it.
Obviously,
Like
obviously.
two 208 teams are in the FIFA pool,
Yeah.
and
No, no, no. I'm not
if
taking
you are,
anything away
yeah,
from
yeah,
Morocco, but
yeah.
still, they would be, so close to being, final. And
Uh, yeah, and another thing is that like when I don't actually how can I say, since the quarterfinal I don't actually make like like I was not actually like going that much ridiculing the coaches who lost the games,
yeah,
because when I was actually like preparing for this actually podcast, um, I saw some numbers and stuff like that actually, and saw some players movements and stuff like that, especially from quarterfinals. I was like, I started well, I was tracking some players, and there were some Twitch streamers who actually make small videos, and sometimes they upload it in the YouTubes, so you can actually get those sort of things. And uh, thing is that like, um, I was not making this sort of like negative comments, like unless I have to or something like that, because uh, playing in this level, like in this short notice and in the middle of the season, it's not actually, how can I say, it's like players are not used to do that actually, for the national team, playing in the middle of the season. And another thing is that like, um, Morocco, um, Morocco has like, there was this Hakim Ziyech situations, probably when we got the draws, and we were actually talking about it like, if it also depends on Ziyech. Ziyech was sort of like looked unbeatable in some matches actually. He was also like really good in defending, solving the defensive puzzles and stuff like that actually. So uh, it also like depends on personals and personal, and like they made it through because like they solved all these problems, but they could not actually solve the final, like uh, problems that they faced in the World Cup. uh, and it was like on a really narrow margin, and I can actually think like, I saw Mbappe's movements actually. Mbappe probably made like 50, 60 touches, 40 to 60 touches. And thing is that whenever he looked actually dangerous, I noticed one thing is that like whenever he was getting the ball, they were trying to go for a rush tackle, like they tried to annihilate the problems right away or something like that. And obviously, Mbappe is having a tournament of himself or stuff like that.
Really?
Even though, yeah, sort
I
of.
don't think so. It's one game or two
Uh,
games, but not the
yeah,
tournament, definitely.
yeah, sort of. But he is like
There is a
whenever
threat,
he
I can
was looking,
understand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Whenever he was looking like he looked like a threat, is that actually depend on the players. Well, I will go through that when we were in the like in the tactical board. But before that, I wanted to say something like they were making some sort of like rush tackles, and he was just like passing them away or like try to avoid the tackle. And whenever he avoided this tackle, he looked a little bit dangerous. Uh, Actually, he did not in a way because like the player rating of FIFA, he's like around like 2 point something he got, so it's out of 5, so like it's like half points. Um, thing is that his passing was not actually that like great if you compare to Griezmann or Dembele probably or Thuram was playing.
there's a reason Thuram was playing. I'll come
Yeah,
back to that whenever I
yeah, yeah,
talk to
we
the
will
yeah, yeah.
we'll go. Yeah.
But
So yeah, that's
in terms
that's
of
how like
Morocco,
they
I
could not
think they
actually
were
solve those sort of problem. They would have actually like they have players like Hakimi who was rushing into it instead of like just staying or keeping a hold on Kylian Mbappe because like their speed actually matches, you know,
not really. Kylian is a little faster.
faster. Yeah, but like he would have actually start from a little bit deeper, so like it will match anyway.
Well,
Like that's what actually. Well, I will show you like in a way, like, but just wait.
okay, sure. I can show you too.
Yeah,
What I saw. But coming back to
yeah,
Morocco, I thought huge credit to the coach who was appointed probably a couple of months back. Um,
yeah.
got back Ziyech and
Because yeah, because previous coach actually has problems with Ziyech, and they need actually Ziyech in a way. He's probably their biggest star. Um, like
maybe
you know,
Hakimi.
maybe Hakimi, but yeah, like most important players. I think.
One of the most important, definitely. But the other part was they relied on obviously the team was injured and they're fatigue. I can understand that, but they're relying on size, and then he could not he could not hold back. I think it was Zero that made a spin and just run past him, and he could not just run. He just standed there, and you know that he can't even make any movement on the back line. And if they're playing, trying to, because after that goal, the entire plan changed.
Yeah.
And you can criticize a little bit of Yasin Bono. Probably he could have done a little bit better, but what a
No, it was empty, completely empty. When Theo Hernandez got the ball, basically all of the players were shifting towards right, and their movements was like that side, towards like left of them and
but that's
right
what
of
I'm
the.
saying. He could have just
Yeah, so like
anticipated that ball might ricochet and come back to that side. And
no, it's not like it's not like it's hard to because like there were like at least like 10 players in front of you. How can you cannot even see the ball because it was a deflection as well.
yeah, but I thought he has a problem with that goal because he didn't
Whoever
cover.
whoever on the last line, he could have actually just marked Theo because he got the ball too easily.
Yeah, and also I still think I'm criticism I don't like keepers conceding on his first bar or first
Mm.
post. I would always blame it to keeper if it's been put out on the cross. Yeah, sure. But first post is always keepers. You have to know where is your post, but I understand it says just brilliant finish as well. Uh, but overall, I thought Morocco, who didn't have much possession over the entire tournament, had to deal with a lot of possession because France didn't want it.
64%.
Yeah. and yeah, and
Twice, actually bigger than twice. They were having like 31% in the whole tournament, and
yeah.
now it was like in the semi eights, it was like 64%, 64.5 or something like that.
So yeah, that's my thought on. I was a little bit worried about their injury, and also they've gone with the back three. It's interesting because of the both quarterfinals and semifinal. The opponent started with a three at the back. Literally, with the wing backs, it could be five out of
Yeah,
position.
yeah, but well, given the situations their players had actually, like
But
before
then they
two,
played way better with the back four.
yeah, yeah, but you can understand that it could have actually like if you are playing against France, at certain point it looked like you are playing good because they are leaving spaces, you know.
Yeah, no,
So,
I totally get that.
but
Totally.
there was these situations like there is this wave of attack from Morocco. If you remember, like yeah, French four defenders, and there were only like two defensive midfielders, and other than that, like they like all of the attackers were gone. Like they could not. They were like jogging back, and there were already like two or three attacks, and then they had to deal with that, and that was the moment of the game, and somehow Morocco missed that moment.
Mhm.
If any other team like who has experience, for example like Croatia, would have taken that sort of situation.
Yeah, and the other part I felt because Varane and Konate both, I don't know if just one goal went in, even the Loris, the triangle of that, and also obviously I understand Kunde tucks in, but there would be a lot of, if Morocco could have just scored one, there would have been a lot more nervousness on that defense. Uh,
Actually, funny thing is that like both of the finalist team, whenever they got like
yeah,
what can I say, behind, they never came back in the game. So they are not like only I guess like of all of the semifinals, I guess Croatia came back in one game, I guess. Like
yeah. Croatia actually came back
yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
all the time. Yeah, against like Canada, Brazil,
Japan.
Japan, Japan also. Yeah. So yeah, except from Croatia, none of this like semi-finalist was coming back from
So you're
whenever they
you're saying the scoring whoever is the first will be and like makes more out of. But isn't it? I understand that, but France I think can hurt you whenever they want, or somehow
yeah,
if they find space.
there are four ways they can hurt. Uh,
Yeah.
like yeah, four ways actually, like from counters, from turnovers, and from crosses from both ends actually, both of the wingers, Mbappe or
Well, probably wing back from that side on the left side, Theo Hernandez.
actually, Mbappe was sort of like making crosses from half spaces
Yeah,
towards
he is
the
occupying a half
yeah,
space for sure,
yeah,
and that's why they had to bring Turam just to give that
yeah,
overload on that
yeah.
side.
And in the end, because of that sort of defensive situations, like there was like 3B or 4B2 situations in the
I thought
midfield.
Hakimi did really well
Um, yeah, he did.
with the Ziyech on that side.
Yeah,
They
he
they
did
worked
actually.
they worked so hard.
Yeah, but it's not sort of like their food sort of like given up in a way,
Yeah, they played
and
so valiantly, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and like defending like I don't know, 4, 6, 4, 5 matches, I guess. Like it's not easy, and they had actually a really bad group also. Like they had to run against Canada, they had to run against Croatia as well. So
Belgium too.
um, Belgium too. So like after 5, 6 matches, it's sort of like
I think the most
together.
comfortable they were against Spain. I mean, they just sit there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, they did, but that was also like in a 120-minute game.
Yeah.
So that is the problem actually. Like playing 120 minutes and continue to do that. none of their players actually, only except for some players, I guess, like was were playing in the European League. Then none of their playing them actually have this sort of like tournaments or anything. So experience actually matters, and this actually can create, for example, Croatia, that Devor Soccer generation. That generation actually created this right now the golden generation that just
But
ended.
I could counter argue South Korea went to the semifinal. Look and see
No,
over
South
there.
Korea's case is different. There was generation gap because there was actually some problems. Like for example, so far I know, some players, not like in the top star players
Well,
like
not
Son
just
or
South Korea. On that World
Kagawa.
Cup, there's a other semifinalist, Turkey.
Yeah, they
So
could not. Yeah,
they
no, it depends on so many things. But Croatia did right thing. Then that's why they
well, you
came
need to have
over and
talent
over
coming
again.
in.
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course. Yeah, of course, and also like there are some decisions to make also. For example, like for Korea, there is this like mandatory army requirement or something like that. You have to work for like 12 to 18 months in army. So like whoever not playing in the top position, they had to serve the country for 1 year, and if you if you are having an 1 year break, it can actually end your career. So like there are certain things actually you can pick up, and you have to make it right and to go towards there. And also like you need some momentum as well. So yeah, it depends on so many things. It's like life, you cannot predict
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. Um, why not we jump into France versus Argentina preview?
Um, for preview, we can actually we have to look at to the France how they played against Morocco. Probably we already knew. We already had a
Yeah,
preview or a review about the
yeah.
Argentina versus Croatia game. Um, Let me share this.
So yeah, please go ahead, Sudipta, with your screen. Yep, it's visible.
Yeah, this is how Morocco and France lined up: 4-2-3-1 versus 5-4-1, sort of like a situation. Um, So they considered the goal really early in the game. Then
Hmm.
it changes to 4-4-2.
Hmm.
Uh, there were a few changes actually. So this is how basically it looked like. France sit a little bit deeper in the game, and probably Morocco played like Spain a little bit in a way. Well, fouls committed, total position losses. Yeah, fairly similar. So Morocco is the darker one. France is the lighter one. So yeah, France did not attack much actually. Did they?
No.
Yeah. Um, Actually, this is probably why you wanted to mention Thuram. Uh, they were attacking basically towards the right, which
No,
is
what
left side of.
what just happened? I think Theo Hernandez normally joins with Mbappe, and Hakimi played so well with Gier dropping in the half spaces and attacking. I think Hakimi didn't give any kind of option to Mbappe. He was going for a first ball to win it or either tackle him.
Yeah,
So and he pinned down Theo almost every time on French left side. And Theo has a little bit of tendency. He has a little bit of weakness against if it's a very good wing back or winger. He has a little bit of vulnerability. So to give to counter that, because Mbappe was more moving towards because he was not getting any supply. He was
all right.
moving towards the half line. So
Yeah,
they needed someone to take some pressure off of Mbappe. So
yeah,
that's why Thuram was introduced on that side.
exactly. Um, yeah. So Basically, the game was played in the middle.
as
Morocco
as
was attacking a little bit there.
yeah.
I guess this is how why I mentioned who- Konate, because French team was like what can I say, like whenever they're getting the balls in ball to Konate in this sort of area, they were actually coming out of because Griezmann was dropping in and he was getting the ball there, and they sort of like build up from that sort of area. Yeah, let's see the touch map actually. Yeah, so yeah,
France is a
as you can
lighter
see,
blue.
yeah, yeah, France was getting out of like this or that actually, like there was long balls towards this sort of area. Griezmann, I saw actually winning some balls over there, and also like he really likes to win the balls in this sort of area because, um, or sorry, this area actually, because he's a lefty and he likes to see the whole pitch actually, like putting his body like diagonally towards this position, like towards directly to Mbappe or the wing back, so he can actually like make like he can see the whole pitch, like to view the whole, basically this sort of viewing position or something like that. So yeah, this is how he touches actually the ball. I saw the Australia games, England games, and the Poland game. Whenever he is getting the ball there, he has a tendency to build up directly right away towards this area. Most likely, he passed to Dembele or sometimes Giroud and gets the second ball again and makes the passes there. And sometimes he build up with Mbappe because if he is in the half spaces, um, and get the one two and try to make open up Dembele in this position. Some there were like few variation with this actually, and too many. He actually make overlapping run sometimes whenever Griezmann is moving towards this sort of area towards his left and get close to how can I say Mbappe. But two of his actually assists actually came from this sort of area, but one of them actually from set pieces. He crossed the ball and Zidane put it inside. It was against England. So yeah, that is the thing actually. But so far what I have seen actually, he loves this half spaces actually. This sort of area. This is like main operation area. I could not find his heat map, but what I did actually, uh, I found some videos on like Griezmann touches or stuff like that actually in different matches, and I put like wherever he was passing like in pen and paper, and I was trying to do that. He so far created 21 chances, which is like more than anyone else. He loves to get the balls, receive the ball in between the lines. Either it's like the uh, lines between the forwards and midfielders, or lines between the midfielders and defenders. And he loves to make like this 1-2 passes, and that's why actually Zidou is more important to this France team because he gives actually he sometimes win the long balls from like Chouameni or someone who's like playing it from deep and put it. Actually, that actually happened last in the last World Cup more, but this year actually like he was moving around, roaming around this sort of area and try to connect everyone, you know. And sometimes whenever he create wherever he goes actually he uses his basic position is there actually, and more but he plays in this half space, this right half space, but whenever he's going to the left actually he sort of creates sort of like a overload, like a four man's overload with Theo, Mbappe is in this half space. Sometimes they interchange and try to open up Dembele in this sort of position. So like and Dembele, like can put it in as a cross, and sometimes he's sort of like a late runner in the box, and sometimes he plays like a really 4-2-3-1, like a attacking midfielder's role, and go one of these wing position and try to put across inside. So this is how actually he moves. And why I'm mentioning that, actually he basically played his best game against Morocco, because especially defensively, because they were struggling at times. Actually, like I mentioned, that 4v, actually it was 6v, 7 or 8 situations, and he had to drop down and sort of like become a third midfielder, uh, sort of like a 4-3-3 to shade them. And also like when Thuram came in, they were able to create sort of like a 4-4-2 situations, and he was moving like a catanaccio or something like that, the Italian term I forgot actually.
Uh,
The midfielder drops down and move up.
Register.
Register, yes. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Do you want to add something here?
No, you explained very well. I will show whatever I see in the tactical board, like how these,
Mm.
especially Griezmann. Um, Griezmann is someone who's connecting the dots for them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So let's see the average position, and we can actually end the semi-final because there aren't much to add actually.
Yeah.
So this is the starting position from both of the team,
Hmm.
and this is how they end up. This is how that looks like. So as I can see, he actually close to the that circle.
Yeah.
His average position is basically 50-50. So yeah, Zero. He loves. He hang in there. He's hanging there, and Mbappe, and yeah, Thuram. Similar position actually. And as I mentioned, like it is more likely the half space is dangerous in. The goals he created so far from the open play, it was from this sort of area actually. He scored two goals in this Poland game from this area.
Yeah, but then Poland were really
But they
pushing
gave
up
him like yeah, they gave him like sort of like a free shoot
space. Yeah.
in this case
Yeah,
actually.
and makes
But
sense because
still,
Poland was
yeah,
trailing, and they needed to get a goal back or two, and then space opens up. And when the space opens up, there are no more dangerous player in the world than Mbappe.
yeah, true, true. Yeah, this is how both of the goal came in, as you can see. Yeah, from the inside of the
6
68
yard
box.
box.
Yeah, but let's see the shots on target. Actually, only one, just outside the 68 box. Off target, plenty. Yeah, but they has a tendency to shoot inside, like to get inside and shoot, because they have actually quality to penetrate.
Yep.
All those forwards, both 3 or 4 actually, uh, both can. Griezmann can come late actually and make some shots actually from there. This sort of thing. This is sort of like his favorite area. Block shots, yeah. This is how they create like a the French team actually has a good, like a really good XG. They try to shots from this
because
sort of
because of the
yeah,
most of the teams focuses on both wing, Dembele
yeah,
and Mbappe
yeah,
and also Theo.
yeah. They leave some spaces
That
inside.
gives some spaces to the
Yeah,
midfielder and Griezmann to shoot from range, and that's how
yeah,
they try to do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Uh, can we move to the England game actually? How
Please,
they played so far? I just want to have a look, and then we can actually discuss how they played. Actually, we discussed Argentina too
it's
many times.
it's it's almost similar. Yes,
Yeah,
I mean
as you can see,
tactically,
France
it's fairly
France is
similar.
like have happy to give up position,
Yeah, yeah. England
and also like they scored like most of the games they scored
right away.
yeah, right away in the first, and so like there is no points of actually, and they have fairly good defense actually. Like Varane would love to sit deep, and because he's not that fast guy. Yeah, It's an interesting thing actually. 20% in the right, because England was going up uh, towards the left actually a little bit. Um, it was probably in the second half, I guess, or yeah, it was in the first half. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it was they are getting the ball from there and they make those shifts. Actually, Griezmann did. He made those shifts from that side, and they actually created get whenever they are losing the ball from there. Actually, Luke Shaw is not that actually fast, and not all he was not actually that much alert actually, and Bellingham was that alert. So like there was a huge duel between like Bellingham and Griezmann. And funny thing, I actually like noticed whenever Griezmann is getting the ball from there, because this is his like, how can I say, he
area.
loves this sort of
Yeah.
area.
Hmm.
Yeah, and if I so far what I've seen actually, his heat map will be like sort of like this. He moves around like this U-turn or something like this, and touching the center box and make those U-turn and some stuff like that actually. And what I've seen so far, England was pressing up actually, but they failed to do one thing, which actually made France a little bit dangerous. Uh, they Whenever Griezmann was getting the ball, they were actually sort of like 2-3 feet away from him, or sometimes it was a yard or two. So whenever he's getting the ball in the deep, there was none who was tracking him, and he was making those shift and taking the pressure away from
Because
England. So
Southgate made a mistake. He thought Mbappe would track back, but it was actually Griezmann tracking back and making sure that
yeah,
they are four.
yeah,
Mbappe doesn't
actually,
defend much. So
yeah,
they
and
made a Henderson to come
mhm,
and help Walker on that side.
mhm,
So there's a
mhm.
bit of hole on this side that
And
that
Bellingham sometimes was moving there actually.
exactly, and that gives that all space and lands to Griezmann, and he was
Yeah,
operating.
yeah, yeah. He probably created more chances in that match actually than any games before, and his chance creations was like 6.5, which is well, um highest is still Mbappe's. It's 10 point something, but Griezmann's was like more likely goal creation or stuff like that, and his key passes were way up than per 90s than Mbappe. Yeah, that is how actually like Bellingham was leaving that space and nobody was there. And thing is that like he was acting as a register. Whenever England was attacking, he was tracking back and forth towards this area. And Dembele was there, and Mbappe basically was hanging this sort of area actually. Sometimes he was just wandering around, like sort of like Lionel Messi position, like a reverse mirror position. But yeah, like they created a four in the midfield with Griezmann tracking back. Yeah, so this is how they did it actually against England. Let's see the heat map. Yeah, it's fun actually. It was all over basically. Um,
But if you just go back to the heat map,
yeah, there
you
were duels here.
yeah, you can see how the right side, especially the Mbappe and Theo Hernandez side, is, and how there are gaps in between to the
Yeah, Saka was
central,
attacking
yeah,
this area.
to the central areas.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's interesting heat map.
yeah, it was all over the pitch. Yeah, it was a fun game to watch actually, end to end. Yeah, let's see the touches actually. As you can see, it's interesting. Yeah, there were actually so many interruptions in that game actually. Yeah, well, uh, France was the darker one.
Yeah,
So they were actually like creating more chances there. Griezmann was winning balls there actually. I saw so far, and he was actually sometimes moving to that side, and the zero goal actually came from the cross from that area. It was basically before that there was a corner.
it's interesting. I was listening to Fabio Capello yesterday, and
Mm,
he's talking about the second goal,
mm.
especially that ball to Giroud, is preventable. Um,
Yeah, it was actually because nobody was tracking Griezmann there. Everyone was in the box basically.
then obviously I think it was Sky. Sky was taking the interview and asked Fabio, um, "Would
Fabio
you?"
said so many interesting
Yeah,
things actually.
yeah. And the other interesting part I picked is he they were trying to force a bad thing about Southgate, but he didn't. He was smart enough to not say anything against. But he says
No, he was in England coach, right?
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, that golden generation time,
Yes.
right? Oh, okay. He knows this, all those things, all those politics actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they had a good game actually, and it's unfortunate, and anyone can miss penalties. So um, it's a good game. Um, let's see the average position and it. Yeah, this is Bukayo Saka. As you can see, as I mentioned, he was getting the ball there, and Theo Hernandez was for like
Who is that
fouling.
number 10? Is it
Uh, yeah, it's Jack Grealish
Grealish?
from England, and
But where is Henderson? I'm just interested to see
mm,
Henderson's position.
Anderson, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Anderson here and Bellingham here. They're
So,
pushing up actually. They're basically in that sort of zone. And after the first goal,
but you can
actually,
see there is a bit of
France was
trying
getting
to
deep into.
do an overlap on the right hand side.
Yeah, yeah, actually, they did it because Theo was pushing up. As you can see, his average position is a little bit upper. Actually, like they created both of the team actually was playing in upper
Lopsided.
defensive, yeah,
Yeah.
lopsided
Yeah.
defensive line and some stuff like that. So and yeah, another thing is that Jules Koundé was not actually he was not
He's more
actually the
of a third center back and tucked in.
yeah, like a sometimes sort of like a extra defensive midfielder in some cases, but not like a, and Griezmann, as you can see, he was there in that zone.
Yeah.
His average position in this half spaces. Actually, it is interesting. It's a little bit this side
It's more
because
central.
he's yeah because he's getting spaces which is left from Jude Bellingham.
And
So that's how.
yeah, and also giving a bit of support to
Yeah,
Chumani, I think it
and
was.
and also like Declan Rice could not actually go farther because like he has a because you know he,
Yeah.
Mbappe is sitting there. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. So yeah, we actually discussed it probably, right?
I think so. We did.
Yeah, it was yeah, as you can see, yeah, also was creating more from the central area. Let's go to the other semi. Um, I just want to mention
It's
that
a knockout
the
second round game.
yeah, second round game. Just yeah, France was attacking more from the left because they Poland actually left some space, and Mbappe was playing probably his best game in the second round. Yeah. Oh, let me check out the attachment.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
evident.
France. Yeah, and shift was making by Griezmann, and Griezmann actually won a couple of times the ball there. Actually, and probably it will be a little bit this side. Oh, it was actually a little bit upper. Yeah, because Poland midfield is not that actually great, and they are actually playing a little bit closer.
Was it? Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
And he's basically a second striker there.
Yeah, it's
So,
more going to occupy the half space, and
mm,
if there is space, he's going to run around.
see the goals actually from that side. On target shots, yeah, they love to shoot actually from in right in front of this like 6 yard line.
Because yeah, they're
Whenever they are,
getting
whenever yeah,
spaces.
yeah, whenever they're getting spaces, they love to shoot. It's actually clever technique actually, as you can see. Yeah.
And most of the shots are actually done on rebound.
Yeah, or someone who actually like how can I say, left the ball a little bit like win the second ball or something like that actually. Yeah, against Denmark is the darker one, so uh, yeah, again left side, um, but it was fairly fighting position at some point actually.
Hmm.
In the end, after like 70 minutes, Denmark just gave up or something like that. 16. So yeah, similar actually.
Yeah, very similar. There's not much surprise.
Mhm. Let's check out the average position. Yeah, it was more actually, how can I say, aggressive in the group round game, and it's understandable actually. Um, and yeah, Griezmann again is center of everything.
He was actually pushing the defensive midfielder.
It's the other way around. Denmark was trying to get the ball out of him, but nobody was touching him. Yeah, as you can see, all of them are right in front of the goal. So that's how why they beat Denmark and all other teams so far. Yeah, this is it actually from me. Do you want me to open the tactical board, or are you
Sure,
going to do
sure.
that?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, and then if I have to add anything, I'll do that.
So this is more likely the both of the team.
Yeah,
France
it
and Argentina is
could
going
be a
to
little change on here and there, but
mm,
most likely.
most likely. Do you think Di Maria is going to play?
Argentine side, I have two or three doubts. I'm just putting it. I don't know, but we'll talk about Argentina later probably. But that's what France might look like.
Yeah, more likely, but only I guess this is the Konate or Upamecano.
Yeah,
Only
whoever is
this is
fit.
the yeah, whoever is fit. But yeah, this is their basic startup line, um, I guess. Uh, I guess you put Fofana there, but
Yeah, either Rabi
more
or
likely will
Fofana.
come back if yeah will come back if they are trailing. But, sorry, is if they are they need a little bit speed. But I don't think he's starting. Rabi is going to start so far, and
Well,
so far what I
it
have seen
all
actually,
depends on how he's recovering from the flu.
yeah, yeah. Well, he's phenomenal so far in this World Cup for France.
Rabia?
Rabiot, yeah. He does all those like beating stuff, like a defensive midfielder. Sometimes he let Chouameni to go a little bit further because he doesn't have that space. Sometimes he attacks just right behind the area whenever he gets chances, but not more likely, you know. But he's doing so far good, like what they wants him to do actually, basically, and also like cover for Theo a little bit. Mm, do you want to start or should
Sure,
I?
go ahead. Uh, so for that they will be lining up is in 4-2-3-1 when they have the
Mm,
possession.
Mhm. But here's the thing actually, their 4-2-3-1 works something like that. Whenever defensively, I'm saying.
No, it doesn't make
So,
sense.
huh?
Griezmann is more towards central area.
Oh, sorry. It's more like
No, 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 no,
half.
no. On that space, just under. Yeah, that's where he operates.
Yeah, I couldn't actually see.
Yeah,
Sorry.
me too.
Um, yeah. So, and whenever, yeah, this is their defensive area, and whenever they get the ball, actually, wherever it is,
Yeah, they
um,
try to
so
attack mostly on the spaces.
yeah,
If
and Griezmann's tendency to pass actually towards this area actually, whenever he gets the ball, like whenever he recover the ball, he tends to pass towards like one of these players actually. And
Yeah,
whenever he gets the ball second time, then he tends to pass, tends to connect with one of these forwards. For example, like yeah, with either with Dembele or Giroud. Sometimes make if Mbappe is in open position, like 1v1 situation with the wing fullback, he tries to make the switch and get him into the game in around these half spaces, sort of like that actually. But
but
what he does
what they
actually,
like is to bring the opposition more towards their
yeah,
area and have a bit of space for to do that.
and also like Zero try to hang in there, this sort of area, as we have seen actually from his average position, he doesn't move much actually. He moves like this actually. He try to
They try to
get
stretch.
behind the, yeah, try to get behind always like the second post. If they are attacking from that side actually, he tries to move there, which actually creates a little bit space for Griezmann to cover. Griezmann made some shots around this area. That's how actually they gets all those shots in front of the goal. And sometimes Griezmann actually, like if you remember that goal, the too many goal, Griezmann gets the ball there, and he wanted to shoot, but there were like two, three bodies over there. So like he just back passed, and there was space, and Chumeni came in, and he just shoot from there distance, and he scored. Yeah, and actually it's hard to see. Yeah, and yeah, whenever Dembele is getting the ball, sometimes actually I have seen actually Giroud to make those sort of run, like a striker's run, which actually attracts all those like center backs, leave space for Griezmann or Mbappe from
Half space to
the
come in.
half space. Yeah, half space to just move in and kick the ball, some stuff like that actually. And this is how they recovered the ball. Actually, Griezmann is the important part of the recovering up in the pitch. Actually, it depends on their position. Um, yeah. So whenever the other team actually stop their attack, and if they are moving from the left, actually there are like already three players, and which is backed up by Chumeni in this area. So they tries to close the space down actually. They tries to go to their next man. And what they does actually, I have seen Griezmann winning the ball in this sort of area, and try to actually how can I say, uh, make a turnover and make a quick counter attack from there. So that's why actually France team actually looked dangerous. And as I have mentioned over and over, this World Cup is basically a World Cup of turnovers. And France actually looked love to win the balls either one like this half of the D box, and this areas basically around the big circle. So either it's in the left or it's in the right. But uh, I haven't actually seen the cover recover it in the right. Sorry, this sort of area. So they looked actually dangerous without the ball. If other team playing towards their left actually. So yeah, this is it, and they can actually hurt. I have mentioned four way. One is that like they make a quick counter. Mbappe basically hanging there. This is his average position. This is Giroud's average position. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, Rabiot, Theo, Griezmann, Dembele. So whenever they get the ball, Dembele moves actually. He's hanging towards this line. Kunde is sort of like a defensive midfielder or like a third midfielder. These men become their player who receives the ball in between the defensive line and the attacking line. Um, let's get a 4-4-2. Then it will be easy to understand for our viewer. Yeah, yeah. And whenever he gets the ball there or there, Griezmann, he always pass to the whoever he's next or something like that. So if it's he's attacking from this side or receiving the ball there, he goes for either Rabiot, who actually shifts the ball towards Theo, and they go for attack like really quickly. And if he is the one who turnovers, he makes either to Giroud or Dembele, and receive the ball in between the line and attack and stuff like that. There is another way when I actually never seen them actually make slow building, but Griezmann actually sometimes moves in this sort of area, try to create overload in these areas, and whenever they are making some sort of like a slow building, because the defensive midfielder I have mentioned, Kyle Walker or something like that. Actually, Mbappe is not actually that how can I say defense like a threat. Whenever the wing back or center back creates this sort of angle, you know, he has a tendency to go like run past towards the area, this area by the line, and try to cut in back in this sort of situations. But he's losing balls over and over, overrun by center backs and defensive midfielder against Morocco. Um, so yeah, if you create this sort of angles towards Mbappe, he's not going to
because
go.
he's
Or
gonna cut back on his strongest leg. So you just show him
yeah,
his weak foot to go on
yeah,
that other
yeah,
side,
and only thing he can do is just like running up and
running
downs.
back. And
Yeah,
if there is
yeah,
space, he
and if
might
you are,
cut back.
yeah, if the right back is fast enough, he can actually anticipate this sort of runs. That's what happened actually. Like Hakimi was fast enough. Um, not like faster than him, but Mbappe was starting from there, this sort of zone. So he was dangerous one or two times, but only they let him actually like whatever Morocco was doing, they tried to make a rush tackles on him. And if you are doing the rush tackles without a backup from midfield or from the defense, um, especially from the midfield actually, what happens actually like you are making yourself open, uh, and he can actually go past you, or like he can not peg you and go past you or stuff like that. And that's why actually Mbappe looked a little bit dangerous on speed, but I don't think it's going to happen against Argentina.
Okay. Now, if you're preparing for France for Argentina, what shape you're going in?
um, there is this thing actually, because you don't want Griezmann getting the ball. Where is he?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. If you, uh, yeah, if you are playing against Griezmann, you don't want him to get the ball in this sort of area. Actually, this is where he looks a lot dangerous. So I would actually put a marker on him in this sort of zone actually, or something like that, or move the defensive midfielder, push like make him pushed up a little bit and to meet him
so. No,
to
no, no, no.
like
My question is, what shape?
uh,
If you just drag back all the French players, just drag
mm,
back. What position you're starting, or what are the? Would you start three at the back, four at the back? or what do you want to do?
See, there's this true thing actually. Like you want to stop Mbappe on speed,
Yeah,
right? And another thing is that like you don't want to give Griezmann a little bit space, you know.
space
So
and time.
this space and time, yeah, it's the same actually, in a way, space time. So what you can do actually, you can actually shape up as a 4-4-2, but uh, uh, only one thing is that like you put either the left central midfielder or the left midfielder or left central midfielder on to Griezmann, so that he does not get the balls over there, or doesn't get the space actually there, especially because whenever he gets the space there, and he can actually turn around or something like that, and he can actually see, this sort of area, this V shape, then actually what he does actually, he turns the ball either towards there, or basically started playing 1-to-1, and tries to links up with this area. So like he wants Griezmann to move more horizontally than vertically, so he wants to give a little bit less space. Whoever is playing in the midfield, whatever the shape is like if they lose the ball there, uh, Alvarez is playing in that sort of area, and he has a actually bigger job to do, because he has to stop Griezmann getting the deep, like putting those late crosses, like early crosses from there to like like he should not actually make those shift towards Mbappe. This is the first thing,
Why not?
and
That's
because
the that's
whenever
that's
he
the best way you can win the ball. Let him make that move. If you're narrow on
no
four
if
four
you
two, have
yeah,
your
the
wing
thing
back
is
win
that like
that, and
yeah
let you win the ball there.
mm, no, actually what happened, whenever you are losing the ball there, you are attacking, so all of the players are
Right.
going to be
I understand. When you're attacking, then Alvarez doesn't have to do the thing. It has to be McAllister or Anzo.
McAllister or someone else. But and Alvarez should actually close down that passing position
Lane.
actually, because with
Yes.
too many, yeah,
Yes.
because the crossing. This is how they actually ease the pressure from the midfielder. This is how they do it actually, and Varane and whoever playing in this position, except for Upamecano. Upamecano is good in with ball, but
But if he doesn't
Varane
have
is not that.
space, and
Yeah,
also just
but he won't get.
reminder, they have to mark Messi too, so they will not move much.
Yeah, Theo, I don't think he's going there. So like more likely they will try to like lure Argentina, and Argentina will try to lure them. So like I don't I don't
It's a
know.
betting game.
It will go,
It's a fishing game.
yeah, sort of like a fishing game.
Yeah.
So
Have your bait. Whoever takes
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. But whatever they are going to do with Messi will be the similar to Griezmann, because like either of those player, if they get spaces, they looks a little bit dangerous. Even though they don't score, they can actually bring other players in the scoring position. This is why the game is sort of like,
So
I don't know.
you're suggesting Argentina should start 4-4-2, which would be very similar against Croatia.
It's not going to be similar. It's more like a 4-4-2 diamond or something like that, because they have to stop Griezmann in the deeper area. So like whoever one of the midfielder will like cut.
So can you
Uh,
show me the shape, please? What you're thinking about?
yeah.
Okay.
So whoever, yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah. One of the player is roaming around, with Griezmann, and three in the midfield. They can actually establish sort of like a passing circle with Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is sort of like a becoming. So the diamond will be a hanging diamond, you know. And another thing, if you win the ball with against Griezmann, you can attack directly. So
So,
there will be a turnover.
so here's the thing, because Argentina, I'm assuming they will have more balls, but Griezmann will push to the defensive midfielder. I don't want De Paul as a defensive midfield position, right?
No, it's just an example, you know. Dipoli will be more likely in this area. Parades more likely going to play. You know, let's see.
So if Paredes plays, they cannot play Di Maria, who is a finalist.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, but thing is that like you also have to think about like whenever Di Maria is coming, he's getting you an extra gear in attack. You know, and this
Why
game is
why
not about
why
like
why not get that first goal and
that's the choice Scaloni have to make. You know,
why not get the
so
first goal, disrupt France what they do,
yeah.
and let them make uncomfortable moves, and that would
This is
open
what
up.
what he can do actually. Like this is sort of like how can I say, like this is two ways game. That's why like Parades or Di Maria,
I'd
and
go with Di Maria. I'll go for attack.
yeah. So do I. But
But
it's
then
Scaloni and
you have to
for
have De Paul as a defensive midfielder with Enzo, double pivot.
yeah, yeah. But Dipol either way, if you are playing in that side actually, either way you are going to end up as a defensive midfielder
Yeah,
because you have to
and if
double down on
I,
Mbappe.
I don't actually agree with you on the diamond shape. I think it would be
Mhm.
more as a narrow 4-4-2. I understand there
Yeah,
is a problem with both flank because they have a speedy winger, probably
mhm.
the fastest in the world, both of them.
Yeah.
But if you make
No, I mentioned diamond because if you remember that Morocco game, they were actually losing the balls in the midfield, and
yeah,
uh, how can I say, Morocco was basically flying past their midfield because there is only like two midfielders. That's why like
two midfielders, one is a Griezmann who's a makeshift one.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also, you
yeah,
have to make sure that this on the left hand side, Dembele has to come and defend. He can defend,
yeah.
but not always, not for 90
No,
minutes.
no.
And then you're dragging back Kunde up. So your left wing back, if he goes up, say Acuna, will get some space.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating.
So like that's why I mentioned that like that was the defensive way, and Scaloni, we have mentioned that like Scaloni has an admiration towards this French side,
Yeah,
who
but
plays a little bit
I
defensive.
think
That's why I mentioned that actually. But if you remember on the Copa final, he put Di Maria on to or who were
4-4-2.
playing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
who
was
were
not Enzo obviously because Paredes and DePaul was playing as a
actually yeah, and the thing is that like Di Maria can play as a
fourth
extra
midfielder.
midfielder. Yeah, and he's actually, if you remember that PSG statistics, I have mentioned the Champions League statistics since what were- since 2017 or 16. Uh, yeah, since 2016 until 2021, up until last season, Di Maria was the most ball winning players on the final third as an attacker in the Champions League.
Okay. Um,
So
can
yeah, that
can I?
that also makes sense actually.
Yeah, can I should
Both of them actually make sense actually.
yeah,
But
but obviously.
yeah, but you know it depends on what they're thinking and what how the player condition, and this is how Argentina may look like, and like two possible scenarios. There is another possible scenarios, but I don't think it will like three in the back, you know. But I don't think it will happen.
Okay. Why is not that?
Because then there will be like big how can I say, there will the midfielders have to be you know, in a big shift, because whenever they are overloading one position, there will be a 1v1 situation on the other side, and you don't want that actually against Dembele or Mbappe, you know.
You might want
And they have to run.
Lisandro against.
They have to run actually a lot.
Yeah,
The
no, I
midfielders and
understand. As a defending, probably it makes sense, not as
yeah,
scoring goals.
yeah.
But um, I wanted to show something.
Mm.
I'll just
Should I
move,
stop sharing or
please,
something?
and I'll share. Well, actually, it's all I have to do is going to, because I don't have to share this thing. Um, or do I have to? Give me a second. All right. Um, so I'll just do a quick few things because we were talking about 4-4-2. We both kind of agree.
Mhm.
Say say for example, if it's Di
But
Maria,
it's not going to be like uh, the 4-4-2 against Croatia or something like that.
it would
Actually,
be more like
a little bit ups and downs because of Griezmann's moving in between the lines. So like one of the players have to track him all the time, or not all the time. Like whenever he pops up in the different
no.
position.
I'm thinking very differently. It's almost like a Brazil game.
Copa.
Yeah, Copa America. Rotationally kick him.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they did actually against Modric in the
Yeah,
semi-final
you don't have
because
to
Enzo
have
was pushing up.
one
Yeah,
guy because
yeah,
he's popping up different places. So
yeah,
whoever
yeah.
is nearest, kick him.
Nearest, yeah, yeah. That's what I mentioned actually. Like whoever is there, they are going to like I mentioned that actually like on the reviews. Like McAllister and Enzo was shifting position, and it actually makes more sense in a way. Like if you are defending, you have to run a little bit more. You know.
Yeah, just a second if I can. Let me know when you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, because this is our man, right? Griezmann. He moves
Yeah.
here, there, everywhere, mostly on that circle. What France
Mhm.
had is that both England and Morocco went for the extra protection against Mbappe.
Mhm.
But I agree it should be four on the back. And also, I would like to get Paredes, but I'll give you a scenario. But if McAllister is kind of tucked in, and if Zero is there, and Rabiot try to cover, and Shumeni goes there, and Griezmann tries to cover these spaces,
Mhm.
so it becomes these three, these three, and as a
Mhm.
backup, this guy
Mhm.
uh, to bottle Griezmann as much as possible. So the only way he can go is through there, where
Yeah.
you would have more attacking threat. The why Di Maria? Because if Di Maria plays, Theo is not moving up. If Mbappe is in the half space and Messi,
Also,
go ahead.
yeah, I just want to one more thing. Like it, also sometimes Messi and Di Maria change the interchange
And if
and creates
Messi
a little
drops
bit
deep,
confusion.
exactly, sometimes he drops deep to get a numerical advantage.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of space. If Theo is not very careful, then
Mhm.
it can hurt France,
Yeah.
right? So Theo
Yeah.
has the only the if you make this entire area Theo cannot move past, then it's actually easier for Molina and Romero to tackle Mbappe. And then if you lock Griezmann rotationally, like if he comes back here, if it's Acuna, kick him. If it's McAllister, kick him. Whoever it is, he goes here.
And Alvarez has a tendency to drop down to this that actually half space.
Yeah,
That's why I actually mentioned Alvarez. If you
right.
seen that that average position of Croatia versus Argentina, Alvarez was there on the that half line.
Technically, I would actually love Paredes because I think this game is made for Paredes right here. Like if it
Yeah,
was Paredes, he would have
that's why
just
I mentioned actually.
kicked out Griezmann and give him a rough time for first 30 minutes or something.
Also, he would actually kick a lot towards what's his name, Zero.
Yeah,
And whenever Zero actually have this sort of frustration, he started missing goals, like just like
yeah.
he did in the semi, because he missed two chances, like
And
clear
also
chances, and then he
Griezmann,
started
if you
missing.
play just one defensive midfielder, he would just press him. If you have
Yeah,
two outlet, not
yeah.
really, can't. So if you get a goal, substitute Di Maria, bring in Paredes or Palacios
I don't
or
think they will
Guido.
do it right away, but I can get that actually.
No, I think it will be a rotational kicking because
Yeah,
every other team. I don't think Griezmann have played with any real South American team who actually kicks.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you don't allow him to turn and kick him right and right there,
Those turns actually defines France attacks. Like whenever he gets the balls like
because
towards the goal, and
he connects the
he has
dots.
a tendency to move. He has a tendency to move towards his right, and whenever he gets the ball towards a little bit, like shy away from the goal, he tries to move vertically, sorry, horizontally, and the more horizontal you get, like whatever they did with Modric actually, the more horizontal you get, actually you are not attacking, you
And
are not
and
penetrating the defense.
also the other way of actually mitigating Mbappe without really tracking him is to reduce the space. Just be very tight on the both lines.
Mhm.
He doesn't have really much space to breathe on unless the
Uh,
long balls come in, and if you start kicking.
no, France. No, see, thing is that neither of the team will let the other team play in their natural game.
Yeah,
So far, what I understand. And another thing is that France actually never had this sort of games against anyone in this tournament,
true.
and Argentina did.
Yeah,
So Argentina got kicked and also kicked back or stuff like that. So that is sort of one of the advantages for Argentina. But with France in speed, France
that's a
is always
different thing.
better.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's why you don't go for speed. You slow it down and
mhm,
make it physical.
yeah, yeah.
And there
So yeah,
there
it will be.
there are the areas somewhere here. If you can get hold of Griezmann and he cannot make pass, so you can literally paralyze those central areas and get some numerical advantage. If they have to shift players from here to there, then you get.
Also pushing up, yeah, also sometimes too many, whenever high it was really high space, too many got
Yeah,
a little bit drops down, because he had this like a tendency to carry the ball a little bit further, or he is a little bit press resistance than Rabio, you know in a way. So stopping too many also would be another issue, and that is the thing Alvarez has to do in this game, because he's more likely to really close.
yeah,
It depends. It's sort of would be a shifting game, sort of like a Brazil game. They stopped Casemiro to let the like can I say, connected with other Paqueta in the midfield. They
yeah. It's
cut
actually
that
Paqueta.
space.
Griezmann is playing
Yeah,
Paqueta's role
yeah,
almost
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like Neymar, but in the
other side.
reverse, like mirror other side. The Paqueta is too many stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, this is this is
So they have to reverse
this is
this game
interesting.
actually.
Yeah, this is interesting. Uh,
This is really interesting. It's I mentioned Mexican standoff. It's perfect Mexican standoff in the midfield.
yeah. But yeah, that's the other part. I mean, frustrate. Like
Yeah.
not let them score in first and frustrate them.
But if anyone scores, uh, do you think other team can come back?
I think so. It's not as written off, obviously, because
Yeah,
both Argentina have issues,
yeah,
France has issues,
yeah,
and
true.
if any team has a goalkeeper of Loris, I know he's a World Cup
And
winner, but
but
you always have
no, he's
chance.
not as good as Emi Martinez. Yeah,
You always have chance with
yeah.
Loris.
But against those crosses in the box, how Argentina
Well,
will
crosses coming from who? That's the question. If it's coming from Griezmann, that's a
Dembele,
dangerous thing.
Dembele,
If coming
yeah.
from Dembele, we've seen enough of Usman Dembele. Out of 20, 19 is going to be wayward.
Yeah, that's the thing about this French team. Actually, they have
But
one
then,
decent
yeah, exactly,
contract, and
exactly.
they have this
Yeah,
accuracy with this, especially with this for the three forwards. Griezmann is not that getting that sort of thing. Yeah,
but if you see some of the crosses, how many crosses you've seen against um, England and against Morocco? Not many.
yeah, not many, but because they are defending
Exactly.
mostly.
So you have to take that off your checklist because if they're attacking, they will go for that
Mm,
4-2-3-1. But they're actually playing 4-4-2 most of the time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, sometimes they actually like I said, Griezmann love to win the balls in that half space and
Uh,
tries to
And if
attack
you
right away.
put Theo Hernandez on,
And
but
another thing, another thing, France actually created all of their goals from like set pieces and turnovers and stuff like that actually, uh, and so does Argentina. But with France, it's a little bit, how can I say, exciting because of the speed. With Argentina, it's not that because Argentina will like a sort of like a slow cut because
no,
of
I
how
think
Messi plays. And
I don't. Well, both the goals against um, the first two goals against Croatia was because of speed and popping up
yeah,
of player like
no,
Alvarez.
I'm saying like most 11, all the 11 or 12 goals or 13 goals they scored so far. Most of them are like slow burns goals. Teams are sitting deep.
Maybe. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so Argentina is also like good in tracking teams whoever
Yeah,
sitting down.
that's because
With
Messi.
Yeah, it's because of Messi.
But what I'm trying to say is if you cut off Theo Hernandez on that side and he's sitting
Mm,
deep, you have 50% less chance of crossing from that side. Mbappe may cross, but it's more likely he's more of a selfish player. He's going to for shot from half spaces. Um, then you left up with Dembele. I think Acuna can can match up,
well, their speed fairly similar so far, like in open eyes.
and Dembele has to.
So
He's not Mbappe. He has to drag back for defensive duties.
also Acuna is also both fitted. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it is.
It's not like as good as
I'm not
Dembele, but
underestimating Dembele because he's
yeah,
such an interesting player and such a talented
yeah,
player. He can hurt you, but
yeah, of course,
if you want to have some balls to his feet, he can do some wayward stuff too. Like his
yeah,
discipline can be a problem.
yeah, true. And also like Acuna, like has a tendency to get in players' nerves.
Yeah,
So if he stomp on in from the first minutes, it will be difficult game from Dembele.
I think
Would
it
actually,
would be
but
difficult
also
game
it's a
for
vice versa.
even for Giroud or Griezmann if you start to keep that game in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just they have to like stomp on that actually. And from
And that's why
France,
I
France
thought
would
that's why
be
you
actually,
need Paredes.
yeah, that's why I actually mentioned like him because more likely in this scenario, I don't see because if Argentina wants to go in the second gear, let's say they are trailing by one goal or something like that. If they wants to go in second gear in the second half, they need someone who can actually brings the pace, also like good in balls and 1v1 situations and stuff like that. And that profile actually only may like mix with uh, like sorry, it matched with
Di Maria.
Di Maria. So
But then again, if you want to score goals,
so ifs and buts.
yeah, if you want to score goal and just put them in the bit of a problematic situation,
See, another thing is that like
would you
what
score
we
first, or would you frustrate them and then score?
for me, I will also like I would love to go first.
So yeah.
Uh, like thing is that but we are not Scaloni.
No, I think he's so far
Again,
whatever we are talking about, I think he's definitely
yeah,
arguing that.
yeah, and what like see what we are like pursuing so far. We are like so what I have like showed to our audience. It's more likely, how can I say, like it's from like all of those decisions actually came from like free contents and stuff like that, and they have like
Mm,
literally
yeah.
analytics. so so they are seeing like way better than us, but we are having sort of like a big picture about like what could have happened. Like we are not going to be like Lionel Scaloni,
And
so
I
like
was
his
reading,
decision making will,
of Jonathan Wilson today in Guardian, and he
yeah.
kind of thinks similar way, like what we're trying to achieve here.
Well, I saw Tifo's how can I say, Tifo's video
Hmm.
like about like
Hmm.
preview. JJ Bull was doing the same thing, and well, he also went for 4-4-2, but I did not agree with some things. For example, like Messi did not do much. Okay, like Alvarez, he does not. But um, in some cases, actually, he opens up some spaces without the ball, and that is actually important if you like consider some goals, especially like against Mexico or that run against Australia or that last goal uh, scored by Argentina in the semi-final. So, like he opened up spaces without the balls. This is the thing I don't agree. But also, like he went for like sort of like a 4-4-2 flat situations. But I would argue like what we have seen actually. Like we mentioned like one of the midfielders which
Okay, tell
like
me. Here
pushed
is
back.
my
So
question: is it easier to track Messi, or is it easier to track Mbappe? Because almost mirror, they don't do much defensively.
no, and it's in the same side of the pitch actually. Basically, I don't think there will anything. It will like both of the team. I think Argentina will use that side more often than the France side because they would love to put Mbappe on the final third of the game, like of the game, like engaging him in the final side, and that if he drops back actually, then they have to run a lot actually, and they have that much actually, except for Mbappe. There aren't actually much dribbler, but with Argentina they have dribblers as well.
So my question is,
So
because Messi
it
doesn't
depends
come
actually.
alive,
Like
say in 90 minutes on average, say 5 minutes, 6 minutes on that space,
yeah,
those spaces, right?
yeah.
So if you put Theo for him,
Not 5 minutes is like too much. He's like five
okay,
minutes probably
for
he's
three, four
in his
minutes.
prime. 3 minutes or
So
two
for
minutes
90
probably.
minutes, you are giving up Theo Hernandez moving out
Yeah,
for that 3 minutes, and you can
yeah,
double it up by putting Di Maria there.
yeah,
So that side can be paralyzed.
yeah, completely. But also like it depends on their match strategy and both of the team, and also like they will have like an exclusive how can I say news like about other teams, like whoever other teams players injuries and stuff like that. So sort of like espionage or something, I don't know, but yeah, they will get those sort of news. We are not getting that
Yeah,
news,
yeah,
so we cannot actually tell. So like this is sort of like a more likely
yeah, yeah,
scenarios.
yeah, yeah. No, no, we get that, but it is fascinating. Not just on the France's left side or Argentina attacks right side, but also France's left side. It's so vital because of Griezmann, whatever he's doing, and also Dembele has to track back and stuff like that. I think both areas. makes them the center because Kante, remember, Kante as a bad, even out of form Kante makes the middle as fourth. Kante is
Yeah,
not there. Chumeni is a very different kind of. He's very very talented, very very good, but very different kind of defensive midfielder.
yeah. That's why they needed Rabiot.
So, but if you're pushing Rabiot on that flank
Yeah,
just to cover it, it makes that particular middle as a little bit vulnerable.
yeah. Well, there are so many things. I don't know, like so many options you can hurt that team. But what, like so far from our conversation, anyone can say that like none of the team is impenetrable or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And the team that France
uh,
played, I think Tunisia, how they scored goal against France.
and I actually texted you. Zero is going to be played
I think Giroud is fit.
because yeah, I know, but here's the catch actually. If they wants to defense against Messi, and if like we sort of like put Argentine points of view against Griezmann. What if is the mirroring? They are mirroring. They left zero. They had like three attacking players uh, and one extra midfielders in the midfield just to stop Lionel Messi.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Reason, I'll tell you. He's. I've seen enough of Didier Deschamps.
Mm.
He rarely changes the names. Very rarely.
That is true, but it's World Cup final, sort of all
And that more that's
hands
the
in the deck
more
situation.
likely reason he will not change anything because he's that kind of manager who doesn't change anything. He has shushu. He's going to keep his shushus.
That's true. That's true. But
Like you,
yeah, that's another idea, like
you can, yeah. If it's a smart manager, he would do that.
actually.
But then
And
that will
that actually
change. That will change
makes a
their
little
attacking
bit,
pattern too.
yeah, true.
They will not be
And also like
as
yeah,
threat.
and also Griezmann has a little bit less defensive like duty to do.
But that
A
that
little bit more.
that
He
might
will have a little bit more free rule,
that
you
might
know.
not suit France.
But yeah, and also like there is this problem actually. Whoever playing in this position, France doesn't have a pushed up central midfielder, you know.
Yeah,
So defensively it's okay, but if you think about attacking, like three of the attackers, they are if you have seen that, like we showed the average position, they are not like linked up.
and also just
So
to mention, I think
that will be a problem
Coman
actually.
is getting infected by flu too.
Really,
He started to get some symptom. So that's another issue. Like if you don't have,
Dembele has to play 90
yeah,
minutes.
if you don't have
Or the other players who scored the goal. I don't know,
who scored the goal?
against
Yeah,
Morocco.
I think the French league player, Comayo or something.
Let me check. He's a midfielder
It's
or
more of a
attacker. I don't know.
winger.
Winger, right? Yeah, Muani is a sort of like a winger and working as in the half space in the right side.
Yeah,
But
that could be a change if they don't want Dembele to play.
defensive, yeah,
Yeah,
defensive change also. But yeah, again, this is a two prongs game. You have to also think about your attack, and you don't have to you don't want to cut this thing, and
and the other
that's
part,
why
and the other
more
part.
likely scenario, the French squad will be the same or what we have
Yeah,
predicted so
it
far.
would be same.
But but what I'm saying is
It
sort of
can
happen
change
like
after one goal or something.
five
Yeah.
percent chance or something like that. Actually, yeah.
Um, I guess we don't have anything else to talk.
And let's see. Yeah, we don't. And yeah, like it like by the time we are going to meet in the next time, we will have a new winner for this World Cup.
Yeah, I guess. Do you agree this is the best two teams of the tournament?
Yeah, so far, in a way. Not like attractive or stuff like that. Attractive football doesn't actually win you so the trophy all the time.
Yeah. What was the
So
last time anyone won? 2014 Germany, and then that final was
yeah,
not even that
yeah,
one-sided. It was two-sided game.
yeah. It was an open game actually. The 2014 game, yeah, World Cup. Yeah, but I would love to watch at least like similar something to that final than 2010 final when basically Dutch players are kicking Spanish players.
Yeah, it was ugly. But they had chance.
Yeah, if you
No,
remember
no, there,
that
there,
Nigel
there, there
Dolan.
was there was good chances from both Arjen Robben and Wesley Sneijder.
Yeah, but true, but there was also like 14 or 15 yellow cards
Yeah, no, you don't want to see that.
flying
But
around.
this game,
Who is going to manage this
I
game?
think the
Like
France Denmark
the-
referee and he managed the Australia Argentina game. The Polish referee.
okay, okay.
And Argentines are good at finding coincidence. They found that 1986 ref was Brazilian, and
They always look for.
his date of birth
Okay.
and this guy's date of birth is the same.
Oh, so he's a old guy.
No, it's not the year, but the date is same. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well, if those coincidence give you the World Cup, then so many teams could have actually win multiple World
yeah.
Cup in the
And
same
that's
year.
that's another thing as well. They're playing the first time after '86 with the home kit,
Yeah, yeah,
the final.
yeah. That's true.
But yeah, let's see. I do feel both team can
No,
find their weakness.
it will be like for 5 to 10 minutes. Like I think both team will try to weigh the other team,
The key is to not
because they
concede.
would love to. Yeah, and also like try to weigh them. Like try to push a little bit and then stop and stuff like that. Like try to flick a little bit. And try to find out your defensive. It's sort of like a siege. In the war, like wherever the walls is like thin, you have to find that actually stuff like that. So it would be fun game to watch, I guess, like in the first 30 minutes, and it will be nerve breaking if you're supporting one of
Yeah,
those team.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. Hopefully, it would be a very
Yeah.
good final because most of the finals are not really good to watch.
No, no, not really. And sometimes it's like one-sided. Like France actually won two one-sided finals.
Yeah, and 1998 and still 1998
Yeah.
was enjoyable compared to the Croatia one.
Because like it was 90s football and there were a lot of space and everyone was running around.
And you
After
always
that,
think that Brazil would come back on the game.
yeah, yeah, true. After like second goals even like. But here's this statistics probably. Is there any team who was trailing in the World Cup who was coming back and won the World Cup in the
In
final?
the final.
I don't think so.
Let's go back to 1982,
82, who
Italy.
Italy played against Germany. What was the score? It was an interesting
Se-
game. It was
seven,
probably the best final, right?
Either 82 or 74. I have to check. Question: who scored first? No, it was Italy scored first. So I'll go 1974 final.
Who scored first? That means he who scored first who owned the game or something like that. It'll be fun. Check again also.
I think the
Should be 1-0.
1974 final is the last one that Dutch scored
Oh,
in 2 minutes, and
oh,
West Germany had to come back. But that was West Germany, and Beckenbauer at its best. To
also Gerd
Gerd
Muller was
Muller,
there.
yes.
Also, like so many historic players. They made sort of like a history.
I think yeah, that's another part. If you're very unlikely,
That's why.
you'll come back. So that's why it makes sense to Di Maria to start.
Hmm. Also, one can argue the other. You don't want to concede. You know.
Yeah, yeah. What if
It's.
they don't
I
what
don't
if
know.
they don't pick Messi? That's the bluff. Like Messi comes as a substitute because you plan everything around Messi and have
Hmm.
Alvarez and Di
Hmm.
Maria starting. The game changes.
That can also work actually. Like Di Maria basically Messi on speed or something like that. That's why he makes rush
The
dribbles
other
and
other
burst
part
of
I
it.
was really because Paulo Dybala came 16 minutes before the
I was going to
the
mention
game,
that.
and he recovered the most. I think 6 balls.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 6.
so
Yeah.
yeah, you do, but you don't want to be Pep Guardiola in Champions League final. Too much.
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't want to be Pep.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense because Messi's last game he should in the
Yeah,
World Cup game, and technically even Di Maria's last game. So
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Uh,
me neither.
okay. On that note, whoever wins, congratulations. I think both are fascinating teams, but um, we'll be coming back with some conversations after the game.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope for a good final, actually.
I don't mind actually bad final, but as long as Messi gets it.
No, for me, it's like,
I'm
uh,
fine with the bad final because a good final doesn't really win you games, and you have to tackle special Griezmann. You make sure that he doesn't stand.
well, that's like Argentine points of view. So,
Yeah, that's Argentine point of view, and you have to let you cannot let that guy play.
yeah, true. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap it up on there.